And welcome back to another video. This is Corey with TCG Equity, and today we're going to be talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Specifically the limit over collection and all the hype right now online with all the serialized cards. So it looks like Konami put extra stuff inside of the booster box of the set and not tell anybody, basically a week before. And here we go. Let's check this out. So some of this stuff was announced, but not all of it. Like this Dark Magician Girl was not announced. And if you look, this Dark Magician Girl right here sold for $22,000. Let's check it out. So this is the Macari sold listing, $22,000 for this card, which is absolutely insane. Let's look at the 3.3 yen, 3.3 million yen, so yen to USD. Let's check it out. It is 123 right there, $21,000 for this Dark Magician Girl. Okay, so where am I getting at with this? Let's get straight to the point. I made the prediction right here on my Patreon. So if you guys are Patreon subscribers, you guys would have already saw that this is a prediction that I made right here on the 15th. It was more than that. I ordered these a little bit ago. I just didn't get around to making the Patreon because, well, I just started my channel in January. So it took me some time to be able to get some Patreon members in there and then for me to put this play in there. I should have put a thumbnail so you guys can't see the actual limited collection box, but it's okay. If some of you guys are smart enough, you guys would have went to Patreon, you guys would have saw that I didn't have a thumbnail here and you guys could have zoomed in and see, oh, is this what he's talking about? The limit over collection, where the serialized cards are? Yes, it was. So this one, I was able to order for around $50-something a box. I have a few cases of each set coming. I should get the Heroes one here pretty soon. Then I'll have the Blue Eyes one. But this video is, this 4-minute video I made kind of explains to you the thought process of what I thought behind the decision to put in a lot of money into limit over collection. So here's what I want to go through, okay? So with Yu-Gi-Oh!, if you guys don't know Yu-Gi-Oh!, I'm not going to sit here and explain to you for hours about what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. You guys need to Google, do a little bit of research. You need to kind of come up to being an analyst a little bit and kind of find your own information about things. That's how you kind of win in the market. You win in the market by finding your own information and being first in line. You don't really win by just listening to everybody all the time. You take what people are saying, you take some tools, you take some thought process, you take some structure that people have, and then you make it your own. And then you make your own decisions, and that's how you make a lot of money, doing different things, niche things like speculating on cardboard or starting your own business, right? So here we go. So for everyone saying, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh's a dead game, no one cares about Yu-Gi-Oh anymore, right? That's what a lot of people say. A lot of people are like, no one cares about Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. Actually, Yu-Gi-Oh makes billions of dollars, billions and billions and billions of dollars for Konami. Look at this, okay? So for fiscal year of March 2025, approximately 2+ billion USD, okay? And let's look at this. For the year ended 31st, 2025, Konami reported a 17 year-over-year increase in total revenue to 421 billion yen. The digital entertainment business, including Yu-Gi-Oh, was the primary driver, okay? So when you're out there on the internet, and you're talking to people that are uneducated, right? They don't really look at the numbers of things. They're trendy people, right? They're trendy. I don't want to use sheepish, but sheepish, right? Because if you're a sharp analyst, if you're a sharp person, you are going to look at the numbers and you're going to speculate on things that make sense, not just hype and feelings. Hype and feelings play a very big role. Hype and feelings play an enormous role because we're all human beings, right? A lot of things are irrational, right? There's a lot of market sayings, like the market can stay irrational, then you can stay solvent. There's so many different things. But at the end of the day, you have to dig deep and find as much information as you can before making the best decisions for your speculation or for a portion of your money. Like, let's say you have $10,000 you want to spend. Okay, so all $10,000, maybe you don't want to use it all into Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe you don't want to do all into Dragon Ball Fusion World. Maybe you want to split it. You want to hold a little bit of Pokemon product to have your foundation there with Vintage, all right? Modern, I have a little bit different feelings of. You want to put in some money into Dragon Ball Fusion World. You want to hold some Grail cards, okay? And here we go. And you want to put some money into sealed products for Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Because when you look at this, right, for anyone saying that the Yu-Gi-Oh is a dead game, when you look at this, it's not. Look, Konami reported 17 year-over-year increase in total revenue. The digital entertainment business, including Yu-Gi-Oh, was a primary driver. Does that sound like a dead game to you? Or does that sound like you have biased opinions and you're not making the best decisions for your speculation play, right? You're not. Because if you go home, look, Yu-Gi-Oh reprints, Yu-Gi-Oh, they reprint everything, man. Don't connect the value, man. Right? When you do all these, like, I want to say kind of like unintelligent thought process, right? Okay, yeah, you might be right. But what can we do with that information? Okay, so we know that Yu-Gi-Oh likes to reprint a lot. Okay, this is generic knowledge, sure, whatever. Now, what happens when they put serialized cards into something like this? What do you think happens? Oh, they're just gonna reprint the serialized cards. They're gonna reprint. You cannot reprint serialized cards, okay? So if the general consensus is Yu-Gi-Oh is always reprinting and they're losing market share to One Piece, they're losing market share to Pokemon, they're losing market share to everybody and everybody, right? They go, huh, what do you think Konami's going to do? Huh, so our player base, I mean, we already have a player base, right? We have a player base and they're making us a fuck ton of money and we like that. But you know what? We're not satisfied. We want the collector base. We want the speculation base. We want investors, right? Into the TCG, not investors into just company shares, but investors into buying our product and sitting on it. Huh, what do we do? Well, what we do is we take the nostalgia route, right? We take the nostalgia route and we learn a little bit from other TCGs. We learn a little bit from sports cards. That serialization is a money printer, right? This is the thought process that, hey, look, Dark Magician Girl, like this thing, Dark Magician Girl has gooners by the balls, man. Like gooners will go work 5 years out of their life to buy this piece of cardboard with Dark Magician Girl on it with a serial number. Okay, this is what you have to understand. Okay, so if we've established that Yu-Gi-Oh is going to go a serialization route and they want to bring on collectors and they want to bring on investors, what do you think happens when a lot of content creators make videos about this, right? When you go on YouTube right now, you start to see people already opening up packs, doing live streams, hype, Ruxin34, right? In my prediction video that I made, I used Ruxin34 as an example that once he makes YouTube videos, right, about opening up a hero, opening up limit hero collection until I hit a serialized, how many people do you think are going to see that? And how much hype do you think that video is going to generate? I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, right? I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. I grew up with like the base set Yu-Gi-Oh. I love Yu-Gi-Oh. And even me, someone that's a fan, I was like, they might reprint. But you got to think about it like this. If everyone thinks that they're going to reprint, that means that they have no collector and investor base. So what do you think a billion dollar company like Konami is going to do? They're going to go the opposite route. They're going to say, you know what? Since you guys think we reprint and the only people buying are like players and some hardcore collectors, we want to bring in more people. So we're not going to reprint as much. We're going to do serialization to lock in the fact that we can't reprint. So public opinion now changes on Konami and Yu-Gi-Oh. Nostalgia floods in. But let me tell you what. You have to make this prediction before the market catches on, right? And if you were in my Patreon, you would have already saw this video that this prediction would have already been made. So you would have been able to get these limit hero collection boxes, limit over collection boxes for like $50 for like half price. And if you can still find deals right now, I would highly suggest that you buy in, because a lot of the stuff that they have in the set wasn't even announced. Like they were announced like a week before. Like look at all this. So beautiful. Like you don't even have to like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like look at this Karibo. Like, oh my gosh, insane. And I specifically bought the set because I'm a very big Dark Magician fan, okay? Like look at this Dark Magician. Like, Jesus. There's already one for sale on eBay, I think for 15K. And you guys already know I can't justify 15K. I think I'm too poor for that. So I'm just, maybe I'll buy like the ultra version and just be happy with that. First and foremost, I made this prediction so people can get these boxes for cheaper, right? I don't expect people to like be 100% scalpers, which I don't think is good. Like if you're buying this stuff just to flip immediately, I don't think that's very good, because you're going to get burned in the long run, right? Because not every single prediction is true. And if not every single prediction is true, sometimes you have to hold for a little bit to get your money back. Sometimes you have to hold to get a slight increase in profit. So being a pure-hearted scalper for a lot of the stuff is not good, right? Aside from Pokemon, I know people are always fighting at Target. People are always, bots and everything are looking for it, and I think that's terrible. But if you want to make predictions based off analysis, I think that's very good. Because you're using your brain. You're not using like a bot to to buy everything up on the Pokemon store, to buy everything up on bestbuy.com when stuff drops. I think that's just so like low behavior. Like really, you're an adult and you can't get a job. You have to I mean, like if you walk past something at Target and you're like, oh, there's some Pokemon product I want to buy in, sure, that's fine. But to like go to Target and just like clear out the shelves, it's like you have no dignity and no self-respect. Like to me, it's a lot different with analysis like this. Yeah, I bought cases of this stuff, but I didn't scalp anything. You see what I'm saying? I didn't say, hey, look, I'm buying it for 55, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna list it on eBay for 120. No. Am I gonna list some? Of course, because I need to be able to take some profit. But guess what? I'm also going to sit on these boxes as an investor, as a speculator, and I'm also going to open it because at the end of the day, I'm still a fan of this Dark Magician. So what I try to encourage people is that you need to take on a little bit of a collector mindset on top of being a scalper mindset, okay? Like small scalping mindset is good for your wallet because you have to consider, hey, if you buy this right now, can you at least get some of your money back, right? You don't want to buy this and then boom, you lose 50% of your money. No, that's terrible. But if you have a small scalper mindset, that might help just a little bit, right? I'm not saying to go full blown, like add fucking 500 to my cart, 50,000, and then go on eBay. That's not what I'm saying. But to analyze a little bit and to use logic and reasoning and to dig into numbers like, oh, well, let's see how well Yu-Gi-Oh is really doing, aside from the fact that public opinion is on the opposite of Yu-Gi-Oh. If you are for Yu-Gi-Oh, usually you're a player, you're like a very, very hardcore Yu-Gi-Oh person. And there's a lot of people, because you know why? Because this number says so. Look, Konami Corporation Group, right? 2 billion plus. And look, the digital entertainment business, including Yu-Gi-Oh, was a primary driver. Do you think they're lying? Do you really think they're lying? Or do you think they're just telling you the truth, right? So, point is that Limit Over is an amazing set, and I can't wait to get mine. This was a very good. So if you're on my Patreon and you decided to consider what I said and maybe pull the trigger on a couple boxes, there's actually a couple dudes that bought more than a couple boxes, and they're doing very well. And I think some of them are going to hold on to some of this stuff, so they're not going to immediately flip, which is another thing you have to consider. If a lot of people are going to hold on to this box, Limit Heroes, how many are really going to be on the market? Like if I sit on a couple cases, right, and I open some, maybe I give some to friends and family, like how many is left? How many are there's going to be left? Probably not a lot. So you have to remember that this stuff is printed to a specific number because there is serialization in there. So this is just a hero set. There's another one that's a white box, and it'll say the rivals, right? It'll say the rivals instead, and it has the blue eyes. Let's check it out real quick. So we go here, we go the rivals, limit over collection, limit over. Okay, here we go. So you can still get these for $81. Very good. Let's see if there's any pictures here we can see. Let's see. Well, they're not gonna announce the other stuff, right? Like for instance, like this, the mass majority of this wasn't announced. Like they put in so much extra stuff in here without people understanding what was what. I think my impression was, and I can be wrong. My impression was that I thought that only the Dark Magician was going to get serialized. I didn't realize all this other stuff was going to get serialized too, which is a really big thing. This skyrockets the set's value. That there's so many serialization cards you can get. Like look at all this stuff. It's sick, man, sick. And I don't even primarily have Yu-Gi-Oh. I have like a small little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh. Like the mass majority of my TCG is not Yu-Gi-Oh, right? I have a very small percentage, and even then, this is just so sick to me. And when we look, okay, we'll go back to Rivals here. We'll just look at this picture. Rivals has other stuff, but it has this Blue Eyes White Dragon that's going to be Grandmaster and serialized. I'm not telling you to buy it $100, but if you can get it close to where I got in at like 50 something dollars, I would pull the trigger on this because, well, as you can already see, you've basically doubled your money. If you want to instantly make a profit, you basically already doubled your money. And again, I'm not telling everybody to go and scalp this stuff. I'm just saying that in the long run, I am a believer of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm a huge believer in this set. And I'm so excited to see what we get for English. Right? I know a lot of people are talking about the Rarity Collection 5, but I don't know if there's serialized. I don't think there's any confirmation on serialized cards and exactly what artwork is going to be used there, right? I'm pretty sure that we're not going to have serialized cards, and most of these are not going to be in Rarity Collection 5. So with that being said, right, when we go over to this picture here, this is a post from a shop in Japan, and this is buyback price. So this is like the equivalent of like GameStop buying your games. See, look, so this shop is offering you 3.5 million yen for that Dark Magician. So when we go here and we go USD 3.5, what is that? 3500000. 3.5, they're offering you $22,000. So right off the rip, they're already offering you the sold price. Look at this, 3.5 million yen. That's insane, isn't it? Insane. So if a shop is willing to give you 20K just like cash in your face, how much do you think this is truly worth? How much do you think when information gets out, right? Because you got to remember, like if you're on this channel and you're kind of a investor, speculator, analyst mindset, you have to understand that information, it takes time to like go across the internet. It takes time for content creators to make videos, right? Like this video you're watching right now. You're watching this video right now, but I already knew this stuff from a while ago. I knew it from Patreon. I speculated on it, and I just don't have it on my channel, right? I already knew this. So when information catches up, what do you think happens to that $22,000? Do you think that's an easy double? You think that's a 40, 50K? Maybe, right? Like this Dark Magician, like I'm very, very tempted to really, really like allocate some money into trying to find a serialized one. I'm a big fan of this artwork. But okay, and then you have to think about it like this: where is the English one going to be? So if we get an English one, let's say we get an English one, like let's say we don't get a Dark Magician that's a magic card. Let's say we get a Dark Magician that's like a regular normal monster Dark Magician. What do you think happens? Is that an instant 50K? Is that an instant $100,000? What about PSA 10? What about a black label Dark Magician girl? Oh my god, I am so excited for the future of Yu-Gi-Oh. Then again, I'm always so excited about TCG because it's just a fun thing to do, right? Okay, so at the end of the day, if you can find these boxes for cheaper than that, if you can go to like different websites, Japan Figure, Mecha Japan, there's different ones on here. Just keep trying to find them. Remember to research the store a little bit and use your credit card just in case, and see if you can find anything that's cheaper than the $100, and probably pull the trigger, because I already did. I did at closer to 50, but you make the judgment between what I paid around 50 to that eBay price, which is like what 100 to 120. So you make the judgment of where you're comfortable at, and then you make the judgment on exactly where you see these boxes and how much. Give it another couple weeks, give it in a month, and then when more are on the market, how much do you think this will be? And it's going to be up to you. Do you hold your box? Do you immediately sell like a scalper? Do you open a little bit to have fun? What is it that you're going to do with your Yu-Gi-Oh box? So thanks for watching. This is Corey with TCG Equity, and I will also play that Patreon video here at the end, just so you guys can see what my thought process was for the prediction. But until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Okay, quick play for the month. I think that this is going to be pretty easy to get some 2 or 3x for your money. If you want to go that route, or if you want to be an investor and you want to hold, is Yu-Gi-Oh! Limit Over Collection that's coming out in February and March. So in Yu-Gi-Oh!, this is going to be the first time they're doing the overframe work, full arts, whatever you want to call them. And on top of that, there's serialized cards. So there's going to be serialized overframe cards of Dark Magician and also the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So the two most nostalgic cards that Yu-Gi-Oh has, they're going to make overframe plus serialized cards. And this is really, really big for Yu-Gi-Oh, because Yu-Gi-Oh has been in the gutter with collectors and investors for a little bit. You know, they make all their money from player base. And I think that they want that collector investor back into their game so they can, you know, print more money like every corporation, right? So when you go here on Mecha Japan, they have 2 pre-orders here for you. They have the, what is this? This one's the Rival, and then they also have the Heroes right here, okay? So the Hero one is the one where you get the Dark Magician, and then the Rivals one is the one that you get the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So there is a discrepancy in the way that they come out. So the Dark Magician Heroes ones releases the end of February, and the Blue Eyes White Dragon releases the end of March. In my opinion, I think these are good plays, especially with this $53, $55. Just don't forget to include your tariff for your country. These are pretty good because of the serialized cards, and also it being the first overframe technology set, I guess, or the first full art for Yu-Gi-Oh in the entire history of Yu-Gi-Oh. And I think it's really good. I think that these boxes are going to get bought up, right? If we look here, let's refresh the page. If we look here, people are already buying in, right? 80, 75, 245 for a bundle of 3. Look at this, 91, you know, from a United States seller, pre-orders. I mean, people are already buying in at $90. And when you kind of think about it, right, like it's going to be basically impossible. There's no reprints with serialized cards, so you're holding on to these boxes that have lottery tickets onto them, and lottery ticket boxes come with a gambler's premium, which you can already kind of see. People aren't doing their research and they're buying it at $91, when they could have just bought, they could have just bought 24 of these, or they could have bought like a case of the heroes if they like the Dark Magician. Here we go. So a case is about $1,400 raw. You add in shipping, you add in your tariffs. I don't know, like 1,500 at most. And I think that you should be able to at least 2 to 3x your money pretty fast because of the fact that we have a bunch of content creators like Mr. Ruction34. They're going to open a lot of these up. They're going to put in the thumbnail, opening packs until I get my serialized Dark Magician or Blue Eyes or whatever. And I think that nostalgia driven in a lot of people that grew up in Yu-Gi-Oh is going to surface. And instead of sports betting, which a lot of people are getting bored of because sports betting industry went like this, people are going to go back to nostalgic things with tangible goods. So Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah, you might not win the bet of a serialized card, but you at least get tangible goods, which is one of the biggest reasons why TCG as a whole is growing, because of also the gambling aspect of things. So this set right here, the heroes and the rivals, has a really big lottery ticket, which means that this price right here is going to go up. So once these guys come out, right? Once the guys come out with a bunch of different content of opening this stuff, different channels, these right here on eBay are going to get bought up. If TCG Player has them, they're going to get bought up and they're going to get relisted. And then you want to be the one to be able to relist them at not 55, but now you want to push the price 120, 140, 150, and that's how you're going to make your short-term profits. Or if you're a bit of a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, you can probably open some, because I probably will too, because this Dark Magician is really, really nice. So just don't forget, there's 2 of them. There's Heroes coming out here in a couple weeks, and then there's the Rivals coming out in March. And I think Mecha Japan is the cheapest that I found. If you do find something cheaper, go ahead and pre-order, and also let me know if you do, because I might add more to what I already have. I have a large size coming. So also just remember, this isn't financial advice. This is just my analysis and speculation plays that I do here in the TCG market. This is Corey with TCG Equity. Thanks for watching. See you next time.